This is Todd from Psycroptic, and you are burning up on Hellbound.
What's going on, everybody? It's your pal, Mean Gene from Hellbound. I'm at the Oakland Metro Operahouse today with Todd from Psycroptic. How you doing, brother?
I've never been better.
Yeah?
Yeah, how's it going?
It's going good, man. I haven't seen you in a while.
It's about a year. We come around here about once a year.
That's right. Now, the last record, November, was released as The Kingdom Drowns, man. And what's the writing process like on a record like that?
I gotta be honest with you, Joe does all the songwriting, and I'm just lucky to be part of the process in any way. Yeah. So Joe's the mega genius behind Psycroptic. He's been writing all the riffs for 20 fucking years. And I got into the game so late that the record was written before I was initiated into the band. However, I'm lucky enough to be a part of the tour cycles, and I'm featured on the album, but didn't do any of the writing.
Okay. I was going to say, give us a little backstory how you got in with the band.
Okay, so I don't know if people have heard the story or if they're getting burnt out on it or whatever, but I think it's kind of cool. I worked for a band called Revocation for years. I tour managed them. I did their merch, etc. And
that's where we met.
Correct. Great friends of mine, greatest dudes in the world. Their bass player, Brett, is probably my oldest friend. He got asked to do a Psycroptic tour, filling in on bass in 2015 because the Psycroptic guys had already agreed to do a tour over here, but their bass player couldn't make it. It was kind of like a last-minute offer, but they couldn't say no to it because they wanted to maximize their work visas, which are expensive. Yes. Blah 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 blah. So Brett passed it off to me, and he said, "You want the gig?" And Dave Haley, who pretty much manages Psycroptic and makes all the business decisions, agreed to take me on, having never heard of me or knowing nothing about me. And it worked out so well that before that first tour was even over, he asked me if I would come back and do more. So I was on a fill-in basis for like maybe 3 years before they brought me in as an official member of the band. And the reason why that process took 3 years or so is because Cam Grant, the original bass player from Psycroptic, hadn't stepped down yet and was still a member of the band, but it got to a point where he was like, I'm never going to tour with you guys ever again. So they just,
Yeah. Right on, man.
Right.
It was cool. A great story.
Cool. Yeah. It was
now, did they record the latest album down in Tasmania?
Yes, they did. So Joe runs his own recording business down there, and he records bands for a living, and he has a home studio. So small, nothing fancy. He recorded I think the drums in a separate facility, and then did guitars and vocals at his spot, and then we did some file trading for bass stuff and shit like that. So it was all done in like a very small, like I said, non-fancy home studio, basically on a laptop.
Yeah, I think I remember you headed down there to the recording process and all that kind of good stuff.
That was done by the time I got to Tassie. I went down there to do a bunch of video shoots with the guys.
Okay, that's
so we could do a bunch of press releases for the new record, and the real lineup that's current and on the record could at least be in the videos together, right? Yeah. So that's why I was down there. But
what's the crowd like down there, man? Metal scene?
It's probably the rowdiest that I've ever seen so far in my touring, I guess, years of Psycroptic. So we've done Australia a bunch, Europe a bunch, US a bunch. We want to do South America and Mexico and all that. Haven't yet. So far, from what I've learned, the Australians are the most into the band, probably because of hometown pride. They take a lot of fucking,
a bunch of hooligans down there in the pit.
Yeah, totally. They're I love Australians.
Yeah,
I've never met an Australian that I didn't like.
Yeah. I'm a little disappointed though on a fashion statement. I was expecting the red, white, and blues on.
I live in the American flag shorts mostly as a gimmick, but also because they're comfy. But these are my stage clothes, Yeah. But I still wear shorts, and I know a lot of bands aren't into it because it's pants only. But fuck that, you know.
Exactly. You got to be comfortable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
pants are torturous to me. I don't know why.
So when this tour came around and it was Gorod and Cannabis Corpse and all that, man, what was your first thought?
Well, actually, I was heavily involved in helping put it together, the package. So we were trying to decide who would be like appropriate support. Who would fit the package and also like bring the heat, so to speak.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't a surprise to me when I found out about the billing because I had been involved from step one. But I think it's a great fit, and I think that it gives fans a reason to come early and stay late.
Yeah. It's a hell of a lineup, and Gorod just came off the stage right now. It's the first time I've seen him, and fuck, man, they're heavy as fuck live.
Gorod's first show is tonight. They didn't get their visas in time, and they had a huge fuck around. I guess for a lack of a better way to put it, they canceled the first half of the tour, and I didn't think they were going to make it at all. In fact, I was chatting to promoters here and there about how I'll believe it when I see it, because I didn't think they'd even make it here, but they did, and they're here, and we're happy to have them.
Yeah, that's what Benoit was telling me earlier. He said that they started working on the visas in October, and they just literally came through.
Well, the U.S. government are notorious for being cunts as far as paperwork is concerned.
Yeah.
My dudes are very proactive about getting their visas in order before they come here and having them in hand before flights are even booked. Sometimes flights are booked afterwards, but you got to make sure that you dot all your I's and cross all your T's, I guess, is the way it goes with that. So I don't know if who is to take the blame for Gorod not being able to make the beginning of the tour, but it sucks for them because I know it cost them a lot, and probably whatever cancellations, a vehicle rental that they probably had to cancel, flights that they probably had to cancel, and shows that they had to miss. So that sucks, but it's not a new story. A lot of bands get fucked over by visas and the U.S. Department of Immigration. I feel like,
Well, I was going to ask you, too, because you're a road warrior, man. You've been doing it for years. Is this new in the last administration? This has gotten a lot worse, or has it pretty much been the same deal?
Well, it's something that I never deal with personally. It's something that Dave deals with because I live in America, and I don't have to ever worry about having a work visa because I'm a fucking citizen. But it seems to be that foreign bands have a hard time over here, and I never know whether those foreign bands are just not really on top of their game when it comes to getting their paperwork sorted, or if it's an issue of the government just cracking down. So it's hard to say whether or not this new administration has anything to do with it. I will say that traveling internationally, I feel like a lot of people, there's a certain amount of disdain that people have for Americans just because of the current administration, but I don't really fucking care about that. And people are nice enough to get to know you without judging you based on who your president is or whatever. I try my best to stay out of all that. But I thank you for calling me a road warrior. I feel like that is a prestigious title to have.
I see all the flights you take, and I've seen all the hard work you've done over the years on tours, man. I know what you do.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. And any big plans for the summer festivals or fall? Anything good going on with you guys?
Yeah, we got actually a fair amount of really good summer festivals happening in Europe. So we're going over there for a couple weeks, starting with Hellfest in France in late June. We're doing Obscene Extreme in Czech, and then we're going to do this thing called Tech Fest in UK. And in between those shows, we're working on doing other gigs, but none of them are real festival size. It would just be basically fill-in shows. There's something else happening probably in Portugal and Holland, and then we might play a show in Dubai, but that's probably yet to be announced.
Wow.
During festival season, I think it's hard to get shit booked in between over there because everything is so crazy and everything revolving around the festivals. But we also don't like to sit around and have idle time. Yeah, we like to work. So if we're gonna get on a fucking plane, and those guys travel way further than me to go to Europe. So when you're over there, you want to play shows. You don't want to sit in a hotel room or whatever. But
between festivals, are you guys driving? Are you flying? I know Europe is, comparably speaking to the U.S., it's a lot easier maybe to get around.
Well, it is if you have a tour booked ahead of time, but for this festival run, there'll probably be a whole lot of logistical nightmares and a lot of fly-ins. That's fine. And the guys are used to touring that way. And to be honest, when we do Australia, the majority of those shows are fly-ins anyway. So yeah, it's a huge pain in the balls to sort out what gear flies, what gear gets hired on the day of and just gets brought in and then left, what to bring on a plane as far as merch is concerned, because the more you bring, the more you spend in baggage, but you don't want to not have shit, because if the more you don't have, the more you don't sell. So you kind of just have to know what you're doing to get it all right. Apart from the festival run in Europe, we have another tour that's going to be in the U.S. later this year. It's not announced yet. We plan on announcing next month. We're really excited about that. And then we'll start working on probably 2020, because we might take the winter off.
So still support the new record into next year?
Fuck yeah. Because the Psycroptic at this point is doing a record every third year. We did 120, well, before my time, but put out one 2012, 2015, 2018, and we want to maybe up that ante a little bit and put out more content. But while you have a record out and while you're paying money for work visas in foreign countries, you want to, like I said before, maximize that and play. Play shows. Play shows. But everyone's all grown up and everyone has personal commitments, so we do the best we can to balance it all out.
Well, I know you got to get going here pretty quick, but I always like to ask, man, the desert island question. You got 3 albums to take to an island with you. Your answer may be totally different tomorrow. But
that's exactly right.
But if you had only take 3, what would they be?
Top of my head, I would definitely change this tomorrow. But top of my head, Crowbar self-titled.
That's our first Crowbar. That's fucking awesome.
I love that one.
Yeah.
If I had to pick a death record, it'd be Symbolic. I'm picking metal bands, by the way. I listen to a lot of rap and shit like that. But I'd pick.
Symbolic, huh?
I have my favorite of the death records. Yeah.
I'm a spiritual healing guy.
Oh, I'm not. I don't go that old with death.
Oh, okay.
I'm way into fucking Sound of Perseverance. I'm way into Individual Thought Patterns, and I think Human is rad, but I also think it's a bit overhyped.
Okay, all right. I respect that.
What would I take as my third? Give me something from the late 80s. I don't know. South of Heaven.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's a good one.
Yeah. I love it. It's probably the best songwriting to me.
Yeah.
To me.
Full of grooves.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your time, brother. And I'm me and Gene. There's Todd, Psycroptic. Get out there. Gorod, Cannabis Corpse. They're on tour. Go see them now. Europe. Festivals, summertime. They're coming for you. Support these guys. Support heavy fucking music.
Thank you for having me, brother.
Oh, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, man.